All right. Oh, let me get that back off that. Get it over on us. Boom. Okay. Yeah, we're getting a repeat there for a minute. Oh, so how are you guys doing?
I'm alive. It's a new week.
You're like,
I'm still breathing.
yeah.
I'm not wearing no face diapers, so I'm good.
Oh, but you are wearing other diapers?
I cannot confirm nor deny that statement.
I'm sorry. I know. I mean, I'm sorry. My sense of comedy took over there when I'm trying to keep this a little more serious tonight.
I would never confirm nor deny that statement. Never.
All right. Let's see who all's here tonight.
Got to have plausible deniability about something.
Well, you can always deny that you voted for.
You be careful where you go with that.
All right. So Keith was the first one in here a while back, and then Tasha, and of course these two were in here chatting with them.
Awesome.
And Jay came in, getting all in the AC. Okay. And CB's here. The Kraken is here. Idaho Garden Girl, Country Homestead Preacher, Blue Farm, Shady Hill Homestead. All right. So, guys, tonight.
We got a few lurking, too.
Yeah.
I see 14 hiding out there.
Ooh, it just dropped from 15 to 12.
No. Oh, it's probably me.
Now it's back up to 13. So, one of the things since last week, some things have been going on in the behind the scenes at YouTube's community of creators, not the guys running their own private community of stuff. Anyways, we're gonna try. Things have been getting a little out of hand in some of the live streams we go on, and I don't want that to be here. I don't want any of the drama here.
Ginger.
Hey, yeah. Ginger Ninja. Gear Grinding 19 and Mouse Toes came in. Stringfield Ridge Farm. Who else? Okay. And okay. So I want to try to keep this more on focus. For Monday night, it's going to be aimed more for homesteaders, gardeners, even if you don't have like a half an acre of land, and you're trying to do something with it. That's what we're going to talk about here. Well, yeah, we'll throw a little bit of prepping stuff in because, hey, all homesteaders prep. It's part of the lifestyle. So, so we're going to try to keep it about that tonight and figure out some things to do. One of the things I would like to do, and everyone in the chat can get on this too a little bit. This morning, I was watching Steve, Corsair Trainers, live stream. And he was asking everybody for help because I guess he had some neighbors and acquaintances asking about, hey, we understand you're into prepping. What do I need to do? I'm behind the curve. I need to catch up. I need to get stuff done.
First and foremost, and my pastor actually out of Michigan is also on the same bandwagon. So there is a subtle but swift movement toward people wanting to. They're going, store ain't got it. They ain't got it. They got it, but holy cow, it's expensive. First and foremost, water and food prep. Mm-hmm. If you don't have those, none of the rest of it's going to matter.
Exactly.
If you don't have water, you can't cook your food or go to the bathroom. Well, you can go to the bathroom, but it's not going to be very tidy.
Yeah.
So without water and without food preps, you're just as doomed as the people who have nothing. You can have all the camping gear in the world. If you ain't got water and food preps, you have nothing.
And that's one of the things too that I mentioned. I just said have them start with the basics. And P2E said the same thing. And Tyler, let's talk about prepping. Jumped in and said, yeah, the basics: water, food, clothing, shelter, and defense stuff. The 5 basics to start with the emphasis on the first 3.
Yeah, I know what Steve's talking about, though, because people that are new just coming into doing like homesteading or preparedness, they will see everything that's out there, and they see these other channels because they go around and start doing research, and they're like, my God, they have 30 guns, or they have 45 acres or whatever, and it just kind of gets to be too much.
Yeah, information overload.
Yeah, they're overwhelmed. They're freaked out. They're like, oh, I don't want to be like that. I just want to extra food and water and what do I need to do to survive if everything goes poopy. I don't want to be Mad Max out there roaming the wasteland dealing out justice.
Well, that's always a good idea.
Yeah.
Hey, Stevie, I bet you that puts a new meaning to that term now from last year. We should all have 20/20 vision. You know how the old saying was everybody has 20/20 vision when looking behind them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, after last year, everybody should have 20/20 vision.
Exactly.
Because last year was rough. This year is shaping up to be a little bit rougher at the end of it.
Oh, yeah. Interesting thing I did find out, though, folks, and kicking myself for it, I should have gone ahead and done it and taken the beat down from the staff sergeant.
Oh.
All right. Costco had a 17 cubic foot freezer for $525.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good price.
Yeah. I go, well, I'm going to go back over to Sam's and check it out there. My truck was already loaded with a bunch of stuff. I stopped at Sam's. Sam's has the 7 cubic foot for, let me get the price here. I wrote it down. $228.98.
Now, see, that's what I've got. It's a little 7-foot cubic.
Yeah. I got a couple of those, and my daughter has a couple of those as well. And and I was doing the math on it, and it's a little bit cheaper to get that bigger one, but with the bigger one, even if you don't have it all the way full, like our little ones are all full. On the bigger one, you can get the extra, it's easier to get the extra basket so you move stuff around and work with it. Once you pack the little one, that little one's packed, and you got to know exactly how you're going down into it.
Country homestead creature.
I was just going to tell Gil that.
My live stream tomorrow night at this, shortly after this time at 9 Eastern on Southern Ohio Prepping. I'm going to be covering that very topic. So if you want your congregation, just watch mine and then share it out after I'm done.
Yeah.
Because that is my topic for tomorrow night. What to get started with when you're new and don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go through everything from the very basics into a little bit more of the advanced. We're going to have an hour to cover it, and we should be able to cover 90% of it in an hour. Yeah.
And a little bit more in-depth on my Gray Man Prepping channel, I have a playlist of Prepping for Beginners. I need to add more stuff to it. But one of the ones in there, I got 3 videos. They're part 1, 2, and 3 of planning for emergencies. Talks about what you need to do at the beginning, about setting up a plan, setting up a budget, going through figuring out what you actually need versus what you want. And in between that is the need. I think I need.
Yeah,
I think I need a Hummer. No, you don't need a Hummer. You need a.
But you need an M1 Abrams with heat rounds.
But mine will be on a different, slightly tangent. Mine will be more of a biblically based look at it, though. So I will be coming at it from a biblical base.
And mine comes at it from the ready.gov base.
Yeah, he comes from the government side. I come from the religious side. It's all good. We meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, we both want everybody. We both want everybody to survive, be prepared, so they're not coming after our stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and Bruce is sitting in the middle. He's our security operative. So
yeah,
cross Bruce.
Who? What?
Yeah, there's so I kind of froze it there for a second. Oh, Will Just in Time, sorry, JIT Preparedness Info. He changed the name. I can't get Just in Time Prepping out of my mind.
And Skinner showed up.
Okay, and scroll on down. Crap.
Mary Beth's here too.
Mm-hmm. And Blue. Oh wait, Blue's in here.
My computer just suddenly went wonky trying to show all the little things here that people are trying, all the messages. Okay, I can go again. All right.
Who I need or want a bunker.
Yeah, hey, Skinner Farms and Mary Beth Smith. I saw you earlier and didn't want to interrupt the other guys.
No, Jay, it's not a knowing how deer season is going to be. You'll be fine. You're going to bag yourself a nice 200-pound buck.
Yeah.
With 12-point rack. It's going to be a trophy rack.
Actually, okay. On this, my wife was saying she thinks that we need to put in a root cellar outside. And we were talking about a little bit about it and go, all right, we got several things to worry about. We got an irrigation canal on that side of the property, the east side, small one. It's a 15-inch pipeline, and it opens up into a bigger ditch as it goes through and goes back to 15-inch pipe as it goes under driveways, roads, and stuff like that. On the other side is the Blackhawk Indian or Blackfoot Indian irrigation canal going down to the reservation. And that thing's about 40 feet wide. But fortunately, that one is about 10 feet below my property line, the high water level mark on that. But she wants to put in some sort of a root cellar thing where we can store everything where it stays cool in the summertime, stays warm enough in the wintertime, it doesn't freeze. And so we're going to be talking about that over the next year or so.
Have you thought about a container? 50-50 buried, 50% underground, then buried, covered over the top? That way it'll be mounted, but you could have it half underground. That way it gives you easy entrance and egress. And you can cover the top of it.
I've looked at those. The ones I have wood floors, slat wood floors.
They all do.
Oh no, you can get some of the metal ones that cost a bit more. The military ones that have the solid metal bottoms, and that are quote watertight.
No, they're not.
If you want to get the solid metal ones, you have to look for Connex boxes. That's what they call them.
Yeah. And what we're kind of deciding is on where to put it, and we were kind of thinking about, all right, we're going to get one dug out, get it brought, either get something brought in, a single piece metal box thing dropped in, and then pour concrete over the top of it with a stairwell thing and build a little garden shed on top of it. So you go in the garden shed, you have stairs there, you go down the stairs into it.
Teresa, I thought Lee was going to go in there and take care of that for you.
All right, Teresa, how you take care of that? You go to Lowe's or Home Depot. You get one of the Raid or one of the other manufacturers of the foggers. You fire off 4 or 5 of them. You toss them all down in there. Close the door and wait a week.
Just do it like a grenade. Pop the top and run.
Throw several of them down in there. Just let them kill all the bugs, spiders, centipedes, mealworms, whatever else is down here. Hey, Texas Rob.
Make sure you let it air out for at least 8 hours before you walk into it too.
Yeah. Then when you go to open it up, then you put a little one of those little box fans you get for $19 at Walmart. They're probably now $30, and you just blow air down in there. But so we're still looking at adding stuff here, and that's one of the things my wife is looking at. But for people that are just starting out, the simplest thing, even if they don't want to go through the thing of making a plan of everything they have and everything, simplest thing, make a 30-day menu. And don't repeat the same thing every Monday. Oh, Monday we're going to have spaghetti every week. No, maybe every other week for spaghetti, mac and cheese, all the different things that the family actually eats and likes. Then make another 30-day meal of things that's not on that first list of other things the family likes to eat or tolerates to eat. And then start working. And so now you have 60 days. Now start mixing it up until you have a 60-day menu all made up of balanced meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then start with week 1. Besides your normal grocery shopping, buy the stuff for week 1 and store it. Then buy the stuff for week 2 and store it.
And the other thing they need to do is they need to make sure that when they're doing their meal plan, you got to do stuff that's shelf stable. You don't want to have to be worrying about refrigeration and freezing and stuff like that. When you do that 30-day meal plan, make sure it's shelf stable stuff. Pastas, sauces, things like that are canned that you can put on a shelf, and it's okay if it's there for 2 or 3 years. You don't want to have, a big, huge roast, because if the power goes out, you're going to have to cook that and everything else in your refrigerator unless you want to just toss it out.
Yeah.
And one final point to that is whatever you store, you eat, and whatever you eat, you store.
Yeah.
Because if you don't eat what you're storing, not necessarily that, but if you're storing a bunch of foods you don't normally eat, when you decide to eat it, your body's going to say, and you're either going to be running to the bathroom every 5 minutes or wishing you could run to the bathroom every 5 minutes. It's going to go one way.
These people that all that they do is get MREs, they don't understand that's primarily packed with fat, because that's what you need on the battlefield. They don't realize that. And if you're not used to eating fat, it will stop you up. And that is very bad when there's not doctors around.
That's why they put the gum in there.
The gum has a laxative in it.
Okay. Now the other thing too is if you have a great deal on meat and you get it for ridiculously low, or you someone around you wants to split a cow with you, and you get a bunch of meat ridiculously low, that's when you want to make sure you have a friend that knows how to do pressure canning and is willing to help teach you how to pressure can and help you pressure can a bunch of that meat, so you don't have to worry about it being in the freezer. And that way it's on the shelf, and it's good for a couple of years on the shelf.
I just wish there was somebody close to me, because I got all kinds of hamburger, and I got a big old turkey and a few other things that I wouldn't mind getting pressure canned, but I don't have the equipment, and I know nobody around me that's close enough that would do it.
Yeah. Hey, Suburban Hillbilly.
Hey.
Excuse me. And so basically a person, someone that's, quote, new to prepping, or someone that's not really, I don't want to be a prepper, I just want to have some extra stuff around.
That's being a prepper.
You don't want it to pop their bubble right away. You want to entice them a little farther.
No, you do, because if you wait too long, then they're going to get stigmatized by the whole, a prepper, that means I'm doomsday prepper. No.
You're
taking the wrong look at it. And you got to change their mindset, because so many people in this day and age have seen doomsday preppers or the stuff from EU on their preppers over there, and it puts such a stigmatism on that word that the average person looks at it and says, I don't want to be like them. Get rid of the thoughts of that word.
Yeah. Well, I like to do with people that says, I don't want to be a prepper, but I need to get a little extra stuff. So I have them, all right, you get this, you get this, you get this. Oh, by the way, guess what? Now you're a prepper. After they got something, they realize, so you're prepared for stuff, aren't you? You're prepared for an earthquake. You're prepared for just a food shortage. You're a prepper. And then they go, oh, you mean it's not like doomsday prepper? No, it's not. That's fiction.
Hey, Mouse, I'm simply an eating specialist. Or enthusiast, I mean.
Yeah.
That's why there are traps set for you around Mouse's house.
Mouse, if you want to come up here, I sent you the link. So if you want to come up here, I sent you the link. So, but one of the things is you get the people started with simple stuff, an extra week's worth of food, an extra 2 weeks, and start getting stuff in. And once they have a month's worth, tell them, all right, now work on the 5th week. But if you see stuff on sale, like the 10 for 1, where it's usually $1.50 or $2 a box, and you get it for 10 of them for $10, get a bunch. Because you already have stuff recently, start spreading stuff out. Start, as your stuff's on sale, you expand a little bit in leaps, and that way you're saving money by expanding in leaps on sale stuff.
Well, see, what I found at my Kroger over here kind of blows my mind a little bit. A pound of hamburger, the 80-20, is almost $8 a pound right now, $7.59 or something like that.
Where are you getting that at?
This is Kroger. It's Black Angus. It's the good meat. Okay, so we're not talking the cheap, nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But one rack below it is a 2-pound package of 50% pork, 50% Black Angus meat for the exact same price. 2 pounds versus 1 pound. The 1 pound is Black Angus 80/20. The 2 pound is 50% pork, 50% Black Angus 80/20. Which one do you think I'm buying more of?
The pork.
I'm buying the 2 pound packages. Same doggone price, twice the meat.
Because what's interesting, this is what I found out with my wife yesterday. Yesterday with my wife, we went to Sam's Club. And we went through Sam's Club. I kind of steered her over to where there's the one little refrigerator section, one of those low ones out in the middle aisles, that I knew what was there. We got over there, and it's like, this is the 90-10 really good ground beef. $3.40 a pound, 10-pound chub. And she goes, we got that too in California. Then it dawned on me, wait a minute, you're close to Harris Range.
Hey, Gil,
yeah.
Froze. And B, you got a pirate in the house.
Got a pirate.
Yep.
Maccabees going, Corsair trainers.
Corsair trainer.
All right. Well, hang on. I got to salute Corsair trainers. Here's a second here. There we go. Get that and throw a bunch of these across
Hoist
there.
the Jolly Roger.
That's what I'm doing. I'm putting up a bunch of Jolly Rogers here in honor of our esteemed friend from Southern California. There we go. Oh, okay, Jay. That's not. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so we got over there to the that section show. Oh, yeah, we get that too. And they also had, but they had for so that was $3.40 a pound for the 90% fat free. They also had next to it, I guess there were there were 8 burgers, big, looked like about third-pound burgers in a package, but because it was already done up as patties, they charged an extra 40 cents per pound to put it in patties. But
take it easy, Tasha.
I forgot how to do it. :PRI, and the pirate flag pops up. Not semicolon, colon. And everybody's going to start putting up pirate flags. And there goes Jehoiadak Maccabee is doing it. All right. So anyways, yeah. But she says, right, she's telling me the 2 freezers she has at home are full. She harvested a lot of vegetables and stuff out of her garden, and so they're full and they're doing stuff. But that's what people need to do. That's that second thing people need to do after they start buying their meals. If they can, start growing something. Lettuce, Swiss chard or rainbow chard. It's a heavy producer. It'll produce a lot of stuff. Not just in what my wife has in California, where she had big stuff. She gave me some of the seeds. I'm growing out here. All of a sudden, I got huge stuff bigger than what she had.
A country homestead. That's not something we're dealing with this evening as far as that stuff goes, but it will be addressed at a later issue. It has been addressed in the past.
Yeah. That one I want to dig. I've been hearing all sorts of stuff. I still want to dig into it. There are some things I've been hearing that I can't confirm yet.
2,000 different pages worth of information on that in the actual deal itself, which is like 4,000 pages.
And then there's all the writers they tacked on.
I'm including that. The original bill is only like 300 some odd pages, but with all the add-ons and extra things, and let's add this, and we want to send these people some extra money, so let's add that, and it's just insane.
Yeah, it's just going off the deep end on what. I'm just scrolling back to run the side chat. What are quote elected representatives who represent their own wallets are doing. But yeah. Oh, Kaylin's in the house.
Yeah, you missed that like 5 minutes ago.
No, things are there were so many things scrolling by here. So cool.
Good.
Very good. wrong one. There we go. Yeah, Ninja nailed it on the head about our quote elected representatives. They're not our leaders. They are our elected servants. They are supposed to be serving the people. If you look at the thing, they're supposed to serve the people.
But according to them, that no longer applies because this country has changed direction. In such as if let's say the country did change direction and that no longer applies, then we as individuals need to go back to where the country was before all that started, back to taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Which means producing your own food if possible, bartering and trading for other stuff to help supplement what you have, build up a storehouse.
Yeah.
If they want to go back to before all that stuff was started, then we need to go back to where the country was as individuals before all that stuff started.
Yeah. Yeah. Just think of it this way. What the government did 100 and some odd years ago to the guys behind me here, a party, that was a perfect time to freeze on what I wanted to say. A certain party is trying to do that to everyone else in the country. But, getting prepped and prepared both as homesteaders and non-homesteaders, there's a lot to do, but you don't have to do it all at once. And what was said here?
Ginger, I don't think we're going to split like that.
There's sometimes you got to remember it's one step at a time. Unless, of course, you win the lottery, then you can go ahead and buy a whole bunch of stuff. But I don't think anybody in this chat is going to win the lottery in the next year or two.
Well, the other thing you got to keep in mind when you're doing this, especially when you're doing it starting out, you don't want to be bragging around to everybody in the neighborhood. Oh, I've got 15 pounds of ground beef that I just canned, or I've got 500 pounds of meat that we just preserved, and we've got, all set up so that we've got it in our basement and we're good. You start talking to everybody in the little town around you. Well, guess what you just did? You just made yourself the supply house for everybody who's not going to prepare for anything. And, I know where that is at.
Yep. Mm-hmm. First thing you learn to do is in any kind of situation, and being prepared is pretty much a military situation. It's your own personal military organization within your house.
Yeah.
The first thing you have to learn about that kind of stuff is OPSEC, operational security. The less people know that what's going on inside your house, the far better off you will be.
And there is, I'm going to throw it up here in a second, get it up here. The gardening, there we go.
Now, some of us on YouTube have already spilled too many beans, but
yeah,
I spilled
a lot, but I'm in an area where everybody's just in my little 1/4 square mile city. Everybody else is just like me. I'm in prepper heaven here. And let me go ahead and bring this up here. This is my series, Prepping in Private, and it talks just about that. But number 2, OPSEC, right there on it, OPSEC. What is prepping in private, and talk about prepping in private. So that's what that video there is about. It's a 17-minute video. Job. And number 1 is where to hide food, money, etc. And when you think someone's going to be coming around knocking on the doors, they do an inspection. So ways to prep and hide stuff. And probably the biggest way if you want to do it. Oh, Kaylin pulled one out right there. Roller suitcase to haul groceries home. They think you just went on a trip or something. They don't realize you're stocking up. The other thing, too, is if you get some of those big bags from like TJ Maxx or one of the other clothing, discount clothing stores, and you keep those in your car, and when you go to the store, you load those up. As you're unloading your shopping cart, you load it into that. And that way when you get home, you're bringing in, they're just bringing in clothes. They got bad tasting clothes. We don't want anything there. And
well, Michelle, if they want to walk behind me to see if I'm having a day full of flatulence, they're more than welcome to follow behind me. And I will make sure I eat something so spicy and so nasty that they regret their decisions.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so we got Michelle and Gardner Josh in here now. So there's a lot of, things to consider. But the basic things to consider is start getting some stuff. Build up a 1 month pantry. Turn it into a 2 month pantry. Turn it into a 3 month pantry. As you go along, once you got it up there, you just keep on buying more stuff. And you don't have to go for the high-end, high-dollar name brand stuff either. There's other things. You don't have to go with Kraft, or as my boys call it, crap macaroni and cheese. They prefer the store brand stuff because it tastes better to them. And actually, I like store brand stuff better too. And it's, it's half the price.
Hey, Jay, the only thing I wouldn't want to put especially in the house I'm in right now, stuff in the attic is because it reaches in the attic in the summertime here 120, 130 degrees in the attic here. 90% of your preps won't make it up there.
But the only thing that might make it is like your dried pasta, because it's already dried.
Yeah, but the problem with that is you get all that high heat, then it cools off, packages may start to condensate.
Yeah.
Which then everything inside is ruined.
Yeah. Okay, what? Oh, no, you. All right, you can call him Captain Crazy. You can call him JB.
Mr. Depends.
Yeah, Mr. Depends is a good one.
Tell me, wipe my butt.
Even you, Your Holiness the Pope, please forgive me, for I have. Oh, anyways, let me rein myself back in now.
Yeah, let's not go any further.
Yeah. Can y'all recommend a source for accurate news info?
Me.
What you have to do is you have to discern that on your own. You have to read it, and then you have to go and research what they're telling you, because even like Fox News is not giving you 100% of what is out there. They're telling you what they want to tell you to get their point across, and that's the way most people in news do it now.
Yeah.
It used to be you could go on and they would do it, from a journalistic point of view. But once they took out the propaganda rule that they had with the FCC, they haven't done that in 6-7 years now.
Yeah, at least.
Everybody just goes out, this is how I feel, and this is an editorial, and they can get away with it now.
Right. It's all subjective criticism, as they call it. That's the reason I quit doing my Friday night news desk, because it takes so much effort to go out and find information that's legitimately real, not overinflated or somebody's speculative theories. You can read the headlines, but unless you're willing to do some serious research, and sometimes it's research in places that most people don't want to go in order to get that information, you're really not going to find much.
Yeah, there were several. I'm going to list several here that are a lot better than Fox, MSNBC.
NPD is one.
Counterfeit news. The CNN. One American News. The German one, DS, and
I'm not too fond of them anymore after some of the things they've put out this year, where they've actually started kowtowing to the mainstream media's narrative.
Yeah. But there are a couple others. There's a channel. I thought I had them saved on this computer. They must be on the other computer here. Some websites that are news ones, and I'm trying to find it here. I just can't. Yeah, it's got to be out on the other one, so I can't share it. But there's a channel, and I'll share that channel here in a second. Here, let me just bring it up here, and I'll share that channel so you go check her out. She pulls off these other ones several times, and the stuff that she's put out there, I've gone and researched, and it's spot on accurate. It's so.
Another one you can check out for and it's information you need to know, is China in focus.
Yeah.
If you want to keep abreast of what's going on in Israel, which anybody that's a Christian should be, and even Kaylin could listen to some of it, I'm sure, because it includes part of her, the Muslim faith over there, and that is Behold Israel. He's not biased in any way, shape, or form. He tells the news as it's going on over there. He puts no personal or political spin to it. It's just stated facts. So, I mean, that's, yes, he's an Israeli, but he tells the facts. If this group's doing something to this group, he tells it the way it is. It's just like there's stuff going on over there right now where it's one group saying it's somebody else when the proof says it's that group that's actually doing it. Yeah. So if you want to keep abreast of what's going on in Israel, then Behold Israel is a good news source for the Middle East.
We'll take it out. All right. Hang on here. Let me get that out of the way. And he came back with follow-up questions. Do these multi-content creators put in front, do they have a responsibility to point to their research? Some of them, or most of them, none of them actually have a requirement to point to their research. The good ones do.
Yep.
And if they're pointing to the research that this is where I got this information, this is where I got this information, go check it out.
Behold, or China in focus. At least when Tiffany's the one giving the information, she always makes sure that they show where they're getting the information.
All right.
And that's part of NTD News, which is also part of, can't think of it now, Epic Times.
Okay.
Or Epoch Times, however you want to say it.
Yeah. All right. So this here is, I'm going to put the link in, and I'm going to show you the channel. So there's the link. And here's the channel. Mama Bear Prepper. Not Mama Bear Prepping, which is Tasha. This is a different Mama Bear. Hers is separate, not all caps, letters all across. She does a lot more stuff, and she's, she throws up her news stuff here, news ones here, and talks about where she gets them at. There are some interesting ones. She pulls up, all these other ones, stuff that are news out there, and tells you about it. Talks about the Walmart containers, and I mean, yeah, she's the one that for me shown the limelight on this Democrat that wants to sterilize men once they have 3 kids.
I'm in trouble. Oh wait, I don't care about it anymore, so I don't care.
All right. So yeah, she's got some good stuff there. She goes around, shows her prepping, what's going on. She went to several different Walmarts showing the containers. Say it's not just one. These are all the ones in my area. So there's a bunch of stuff she does, and
the whole container thing for Walmart is nothing new.
Yeah, I know. The Walmart near our house in California, when they first went in 10 years ago. 12 years ago, that summer, they had 15 cargo containers out back because they didn't want to pay property tax for enlarging the building for storage and get taxed on the building. So they put storage containers out there, and they don't get taxed on storage containers. So that's one of the reasons why Walmart's doing it there. Instead of enlarging their building and having to pay more property tax, they just bring in containers. It's good business. But yeah, so hey, All Things Acres. Hey, Pennsylvania Prepper.
The answer to that question is no, because it was actually, wasn't it the Fifth Circuit, Dave, that did the injunction?
For what's that? What Pennsylvania just put up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking that up right now.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, there are a lot of things going on.
Well, what she's talking about right there is from Columbia, South Carolina. I've got it pulled up. McMaster has issued an executive order barring any state or cabinet agency from issuing or enforcing any jab mandate. Yeah. And he made it Thursday night, so that was a couple days ago, actually.
Yeah. And here's November the thing. 4th. Correct me if I'm wrong. So far, the federal government has not issued.
No. You're wrong. Law. You're wrong.
They issued law?
OSHA has not issued law. They've done rulemaking.
Okay.
Well,
So they have that.
no, hold on. Let me let me start a couple years back, like 25 years back.
No,
They made a mandate on radar detectors being not allowed to be used inside semi trucks. Okay, it is a mandate that is enforceable as a law. There are some very fine points that the government can use. They don't have to go through Congress to make it a law. They make it a mandate with certain stipulations in it to be enforced as law, which is what the administration has done with this whole pokey thing.
All right.
It's a mandate that can be enforced as law.
All right.
If they say you have to do it, companies with 100 or more employees.
If it's a mandate, it's non-enforceable.
Yes, it is.
No, because by legal definition, a mandate requires voluntary compliance. If it's anything else, then it's no longer a mandate. It's a rule or it's a policy, but it's no longer a mandate.
The thing is, the mandates can be enforced as law depending on how they're written by legal people far smarter than me and you, who know all the legal jargon to put it in. That's why they did it with radar detectors. Because I tried to fight that. The first ticket I got having a radar detector in my truck in New York City. And that was a $500 fine. That was not fun and not pretty, and I never got it back. Okay, it's not a law, it's a mandate.
Yeah, well,
I still lost my radar detector. I still had to pay $500. I still got 2 points on my license, but it's not a law. It's just a mandate.
Okay, well,
so they can enforce it, and that was nationwide.
They can call it a mandate, but in the written of it, if it says it says mandate within it, it automatically makes it non-enforceable. That's why they don't put the word mandate in any of the things. The news will call it a mandate, but it's not a mandate. It's a rule or it's a.
This is why all these states are suing, because they've written it in such a way. They may have the word mandate in it, but they've made it law, and it's January 4th that nationwide every company with 100 or more employees has to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If they don't do it, it starts out at a $15,000 fine per injunction. And it goes up with every injunction after that. So it is law, even though they got the word mandate on it. And by definition, they will lose in court. That's why all these states are suing. And there's media companies and other companies that are actually filing lawsuits against the administration for it. Now, the thing is, these companies are going to spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to fight this, and they're going to lose.
No, they're going to win.
No, they won't.
Because if they are putting mandate in there and it hasn't not been something nationwide by Congress, they're going to lose when they got that much. Now, you didn't have a good lawyer to go with you to beat that. There are things that by the definition of a mandate, the legal definition nationwide is that it is a voluntary compliance with a recommendation. But
see, mandate and voluntary are not of the same definition. That's where they get it in a legal courtroom. They can say it's not voluntary, it's mandated, which means it's mandatory.
Well, that's the thing.
It's the legal definition of the word.
The legal definition for mandate, the legal definition already established is voluntary compliance. I've seen several lawyers talking about this, and they put it up. This is the legal definition. When they say this is a mandate and it has it written into the document itself, this is a mandate, it's automatically, they cannot put any enforcement on it. And if they do, they're violating the mandate, and the whole thing has to be thrown out. And there are several law guys on different channels who are saying, hey, there are firms lined up to jump on this, to sue the federal government over this as soon as they put out a one saying this is the mandate, this is what you got to do. Because so far as I've been able to find out, this 100 employee thing stuff has not actually been put in writing. I've not been able to find it in writing. All you see on it is memos, memorandums, and press releases.
That's because it hasn't been released to general public yet. I'm trying to see if I can't find something that they've put out quickly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, I haven't been able to find anything on it. And if they're not putting it out to the public, it doesn't exist.
I believe it's the 15th that OSHA is putting that out.
I just looked at one that
15th.
said November 4th from OSHA, but I don't think OSHA is actually going to start trying to. The thing for OSHA is, I'm going to quit trying to find it. The thing for OSHA is they only have like 15,000 people to enforce anything.
Yep.
And there's how many companies in the United States with over 100 employees?
Yeah.
They're going to be
the
hoping
4th
for
was when
people.
they announced it, but they have to have a 2-week discussion period. That's how you do rulemaking in the federal government. You have to announce that you're going to make this rule, and then the public and legislators have the chance to come in and tell you why you should or should not make that rule. That's how rulemaking goes in the federal government. It has nothing to do with laws, because once they focus it down and it's going to be a rule from one of the 3-letter alphabet agencies, they have to announce it and say, this is what we're planning on doing, and then allow people to come in and nitpick and shoot it down. Right. That's what they have to do for a rule. And that's what they're attempting to do right now.
And OSHA, even though OSHA has its issues, I've fought with OSHA over the years driving truck for one. Even though OSHA has its issues, OSHA does try to, for a general rule, try to keep its people safe and the public safe. Yeah. So if they're trying to, sit down and actually have a discussion about this, I applaud them as long as they go the right direction.
Yeah, I heard, wasn't it a couple of months ago or maybe even longer, OSHA was trying to track all those that, for workplace, people were claiming it on workman's comp because they were told by the employer they had to get and then they.
But see, that's a company mandate.
Yeah, but OSHA was started to track it because of workplace. It was a workplace. People were claiming it's a workplace injury, and some other government agency said, "Oh no, that's our bellywack. You stop doing that." I think it was like CDC. But anyways, let's get back out of that rabbit hole. Let's everyone start digging. Let's climb out of the rabbit hole.
Oh, gee, I was going to post something.
And but let's get back to the stuff about people starting for prepping and stuff.
Okay, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, all right. If you know someone who's just wanting to start to prep, or not, they don't say they want to prep, they just want to get some extra supplies and stuff. And what's the best way to do it, to store it and stuff like that? You guys know who the good channels are. You can recommend, these channels are the honest channels that aren't trying to hype you up, aren't trying to sell fear porn. Check these guys out and see if you can learn from them. But
Carol's got kitties. She ain't got no rabbits.
What rabbit hole? I dug the cat hole. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry to be laughing, Kaylin. If you dug a cat hole, woo! That's why we don't have cats no more. My daughter has enough cats to run around the neighborhood killing all the voles and mice. I know, it's just that to me, if someone is requesting help to start prepping, there's a lot of things you can suggest to them. There were several channels, and I was surprised that some of these that were recommending on Steve's chat this morning, the LDS Preparedness Guide, or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and which has
not a bad place to start.
Yeah,
it gives you a place to look and say, okay.
Yeah, and what's also neat is they have an online. For some reason they make it simple and to find, and somebody changes the website and you can't find it again. There's a calculator for based needs. So you say, I got 6 people in the family, 3 are over 16, 3 are under 16, and I want to know what I need for 30 days, or want to know what I need for 120 days, or
if that's what you got in your family, it sounds like you need to talk to a sexual assistant and learn about how to prevent that problem.
Abstinence. Hey, it's a good thing.
My grandmother was one of 3 girls of 14 kids.
The LDS manual, if I'm not mistaken, is free.
Yeah, and there's
It was a PDF that you could download, I know, at one point. Maybe they've changed that, I don't know, but it was at one point.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
PDF.
everybody's getting money hungry in this day and age.
Well, so you buy for 20. Is that $25? Because I know there's certain things you can get from your local congregation, the ward, for there are certain publications that they make are for free, but the download is free. Yeah. Hey, Alicia. And
Hello.
there are a lot of ways to calculate stuff out. And one thing I liked about the LDS calculator, it broke out into the groups, and it lists everything was in that group, so you could break it down farther on your own, whether you want legumes or beans or peas or whatever else, because some people don't like beans, but they'll eat peas, or they'll eat, and so there's different things.
The book is 25. PDF is free.
Okay. Because I know this is going to sound weird. I know they have a lot of publications for 25 cents. That's just it. I know there is 25 cents. That's all I wanted to make sure it's $25 and not the 25-cent ones. Yeah,
and it's a lot of people who first get into it. They get overwhelmed. They watch all these YouTube channels, and one of the biggest names when you type in prepping foods and stuff like that is Canadian Prepper. I have my own issues with him. That was notwithstanding, they go see what he's got, and especially now he's showing this great big huge room. He's got all these stored foods, and somebody who's brand new to this is going to see that and go, "Oh, I got to do all that," and they get shell-shocked into not doing a darn thing. You got to get people understand that you have to start small.
Yeah, one step at a time. You crawl before you walk. You walk before you jog before you run.
And then you fall down and start having to use the cane to get everywhere.
Unless you're my grandson Danny, who went from crawling to running across the floor the next day. Hey, Homestead, the Homestead Family Reclaim. Now, Mary has a question here, and Mouse, you might be the best one to answer this. There it is. There she did. So here's the question: Is the best if the best use before date? Can you use it after the date? Will it acid rot through the can? Okay, if the can's not swollen or dented, it's usually good. Just open and see. Now, with that,
depends on the tomato too, because the acidity levels are different in different tomatoes.
And the canner, and who did the canning, and where those cans came from, whether they were cheap on their liner of the can or not. Now, interesting thing, when it comes to tomato sauces and stuff, we've started steering away from the cans and going to the Classico comes in the canning jars that you can reuse to can. So, and that's what I got. Let me just show you here. His world shaking. So I got, there are some cans, and there are the jars. And that's just what I have in this room. Earthquake!
Where's my Dramamine now?
Earthquake!
Felt like I was riding the Hindenburg there for a minute.
I think it's for us beginners. It is. Hang on, I'm going to throw this one up. I think it's best for us beginners to know. It's difficult to know who is giving good advice and who's making $1. Like a prepper who creates content, not a creator who's a prepper.
That for me, that's simple. If they're not telling you buy my T-shirt so you can survive the apocalypse,
or go to my Patreon channel.
Yeah.
Or go to this, or go over here and become a member here.
Or, hey, I got this great deal on Mountain House. If you use my code below, which pays them when you use it.
Yeah.
And Mountain House is all right. If you like that stuff, then get some. But don't base it upon somebody saying, I give you this code for 20% off. Because that 20%, they get 5% of that 20% added to their account. So every person that buys, their larder gets huge, and people are getting, I can't keep up with him.
Yeah.
There you go for the LDS manual.
Yep. Now, on the flip side of this, there are some channels who put stuff out there, and they do, when they do show their Amazon favorite types things, and if you use the link on Amazon, they get pennies. And they're just doing that because, hey, that's the way they can help fund their giveaways, and they're giving away stuff and everything out like that. And they only have like 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000 subscribers. They're not making a lot of money.
I have almost 1,300. I ain't making a penny.
Yeah.
I'm not in this to make money. I'm in this to help people understand that they need to be prepared. You know, the Bible, Noah is the best prepper there ever was. God gave a little while and said, hey, guess what? I'm going to flood the earth. He said, you better get prepared. Build an ark.
Yeah.
Noah listened.
Do you know who the number 2 prepper was behind Noah? Joseph of the Coat of Many Colors. Got Egypt prepared for 7 years.
14, actually.
Yeah, you get built up for 7 years to last the next second 7 years.
Yep.
There's to me, prepping is, well, hey, on one hand, it's been a lifestyle since before I was born. My grandmother was born up on a farm up by Coeur d'Alene with her family had 14 kids. They didn't have power up there for years. They had a well water, and they had an outhouse. Actually, they had a 3-chair outhouse. You go in there, and all right, you'd be sitting next to your mom or sitting next to your Uncle Joe. But that's the way they grew up, and they canned everything. All
right. Hey, country. One of the other people in the side chat, you want to know about freeze drying? Talk to Pennsylvania Prepper. Go watch her channel.
Yep.
She's got a freeze dryer. So does Discover Sustainable. Although she hasn't put nothing up on her freeze dryer recently. So if you want to hear about a freeze dryer, I would go talk to somebody who's used it extensively, isn't trying to push it and say, here, go buy it off my code so I can make money off it. This is somebody who says, look, this is what I use it for. This is how I use it. This is why I like it. Not because you can go get it X% off, but because this really works. That's the way I've done the reviews for the stuff I've done. I either like it or I don't. If it's a piece of junk, I usually tell the company, I'm not putting the video out on this because you don't want my negative review. Do you want it back?
Yeah.
And a couple of times I've had them say, no, tell us what's wrong with it. We'll either fix it or you put it out there and tell us in the video what you want fixed. And that's the way I had one video. I told them, so this is what I would like to see fixed if you produce this further, which is like the tail cap for the light. They need to make the tail cap bigger for other flashlights. So people who use a different color, like myself, who likes to use multiple colored light, red, green, and blue, ultraviolet for blood tracking, they needed to make that tail cap bigger to fit the other lights. They said, no, put that out in video so other people can understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
So,
we have a visitor from north of the border. It's Queen of the North.
hello.
Prairie Rider.
I almost said the wrong name. I almost slipped.
Yeah, Prairie Rider.
Hi, Lori.
One of the things that all right, I've done a couple reviews where people have sent me stuff, and like I said on the one, it's like 38 and 357 are the same caliber. It's the difference in the length of the shell. So why do you got different size cleaning things for it? And so, that's the one of the things I put out that was bad on it. I did one on the Super Clean, and it's like, yeah, this stuff is great if you have a shop. It's not so hot if you're in the house because it fumes. So, and Carol's here. Fishes and Love Life.
Yeah, Pennsylvania Prepper. That's one investment I would love to get, but unfortunately, it's not in the cards.
Yeah,
not unless Sleepy decides to send out a massively huge benefit to us Native Americans. He's giving money to Mexicans. He can give some of those Native Americans. We were here first.
or those on disabilities that don't get tax
Hey,
rebates.
then I get double. Then I get it twice. Then I can afford one of those, the big ones.
Michelle P., I get what you're saying. If you're already considering purchasing something, then if you use somebody's link, why is it bad? Well, you need to make sure where that product is being produced at, because as everybody here knows, there's some things that you will find that come from a certain country that are just hack-offs of something that were built here that actually works. So you need to be very careful and know what you're purchasing, because you only have so much money to spend every month in excess of what you're doing. You know, if you spend it on something that the first time you use it, it breaks, then you're really going to be pissed.
Yeah, it's just like I had one company. Now there's a mouse trap that's got a lid that sits on a 5-gallon bucket, and it's American made here in the US. And I got an email from a company showing me this looked exact image of it. I swear they took a picture of from the US website and used it on theirs, but I click on their Amazon link for it, and it's a cheap Chinese knockoff that looks like it's made out of pop metal that would fall apart the first time a mouse over an ounce walked across it. I told them, I says, no, I'm just not going to do reviews anymore. You know, rather than try and belittle them, I'm just, I turned it down. I'm not going to put something like that out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of knockoff stuff. And here's what's an interesting thing I found. There are certain shoes, name brand shoes that are made in China. Those that don't pass inspection there, that company sells to a subsidiary. And the subsidiary also buys a bunch of the cheaper stuff from them, and they flood the market. And you think, through Amazon, eBay, and other things, and you think you're buying the quality assured main checked one, and so it's a factory made knockoff from the same factory.
Yeah, I've experienced that already.
Yeah,
I bought a pair of 511 boots for Charles, and I bought a pair for myself. Charles' boots were real, true 511 boots. The pair that they sent for me in my size weren't. And it's from the same manufacturer, same company, well, same manufacturer. But, it's a Chinese company that bought a load of stuff. And they said, okay, we're going to buy some of these, and we're going to use these as templates to make our own knockoffs. And that's how they get away with it.
Yeah.
Of course, I sent mine back.
Yeah. So, and I don't want to. I know some people out here really love the dollar stores, whether it's Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Dollar General, whatever.
They're good for some things.
Yeah. Something. I mean, but a lot of that stuff. Where is it coming from? Is it coming? Is it U.S. made?
Sorry, I had a cough.
Yeah. I thought you were saying bullshit there for a second.
No.
Okay. Red Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah. So, a lot of stuff is coming from overseas. And there's, some of the companies overseas make good stuff. Some of them are knockoff of companies overseas, and they're crappy stuff. And there's the knockoffs of the knockoffs over there. I remember
and right now they're in real bad shape over there when it comes to making knockoffs right now, because a lot of the manufacturing facilities that make knockoffs are closed.
Yeah.
They have nobody working right now
because of the blackouts that are going around the country
and the floods.
Yeah.
There's 2 manufacturing facilities over there, giant places that literally have like 4 feet of water on the main floor.
Yeah. In the late 80s, I went to work for a company, and a construction company, and I was in the shop working with the mechanics and stuff, fixing equipment, getting ready. I could buy stuff at auction, so I'd go over it and see what the mechanics need to do on it, and what they didn't need to do that I could do, I would do. And so I was buying tools and stuff, and I bought a set of Harbor Freight drill bits. This set of drill bits was better made than some of the American Vermont drills, because I had one break on me after 6 months of doing a lot of drilling and stuff, and I put too much pressure, it slipped a little bit and popped it. Well, the American Vermont drill I got to replace it lasted about a couple days, and it was and I went through several, American Vermont bits, and finally I went back and to buy another whole set at Harbor Freight. And by then they had changed manufacturers, and so the replacement ones are the same quality of the American Vermonts.
I want to ask Pennsylvania Prepper something, which will also correlate to what Country's asking. Pennsylvania Prepper, have you tried dehydrating your veggies like the peppers instead of freeze drying them? Because from what I've found, this is just and I don't have a freeze dryer to back anything up with, but with my dehydrator, I can dehydrate my vegetables usually with little to no problem. So I'm wondering if maybe it wouldn't be better to have both. Certain things you dehydrate, obviously you put in oxygen absorber and desiccant packet, and Mylar bags, those as well. But I would think certain things you would want to dehydrate while others you would freeze dry. Just a thought.
Sorry about that. I had a telemarketer trying to call me.
They just want to make sure your car insurance is up to date, just in case you get a flat tire.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I get one of those for the car we no longer own.
Hey, I get them all the time too, and I don't own a car, period.
That's what you answer. Really? Okay. Now, how do I get a car for this? After you waste 10 minutes of their time when you've got nothing better to do.
My pastor had the perfect one. A telemarketer called, and it was offering him something, and and he got around to the point where he says, "You know what? I'd love to do that if you could tell me where to hide the body." They hung up real quick. I said, I wouldn't have never expected my pastor to do it, but it's an interesting thought.
Hey, Dave, that reminds me of one of the crank ways we used to answer when I was a teenager. County mortuary, you stab them, we slab them.
Okay, I was just curious, Pennsylvania, because all I've got is a dehydrator, and it's kind of set up like the Excalibur with a fan and a heater at the back, and it blows across the trays instead of down or up. And now I know when I've tried to dehydrate things like mandarin oranges, they stay soft dehydrating, but I know they freeze dry quite well. So I'm just curious.
Yeah. And we're coming up. Yeah, we got a little bit more time here. Yeah. And then, of course, there's there was a bunch of those phone ones. But anyways, so if you have somebody asking you about, what do I do? What's the first thing I do to start getting extra preps and stuff? The meal plan. Just tell them write out a meal plan for a month and buy the first week's. And then once you have that first week, when you can afford, as soon as you can afford it, buy the second week.
Hey, Carol, she never even came up here. She stopped in at the very beginning, said something, deleted it, and left, and hasn't come back.
And I never even saw it. I wasn't even on here yet when that happened. And I never saw it on anything pop up. So, yeah.
It's probably me. I'm scaring people off.
The one of the things too that when people talk to me about, and then they get into the budget part. Well, how much a month should I budget? One of the questions I ask: what are you spending your money on now? Leave it kind of open, and then I go: are you going out to eat a lot? Well, you save a bunch of money when you make sandwiches, take them to work, or make extra leftovers. You take the leftovers to work and stuff like that, rather than going out and buying a $7 sandwich down at Arby's or whatever. And then the next thing, and everybody don't get mad at me, Dave, Bruce, don't get mad at me.
Oh, brother.
How much coffee are you drinking? How much time are you going to Starbucks?
I don't care. The coffee I have is all set up in a nice 50-gallon drum, and I'm backed up on it, so everybody will survive.
Hey, without my coffee, this world turns into a very scary place.
But what I'm saying is, all right, if you're going to be drinking coffee, how often do you guys go to Starbucks?
I don't. I won't spend a dime at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You couldn't get me to. You could hand me $100 bill and say you can go Starbucks if you want. I'm going to Walmart and buy me 10 cans of my coffee, and I'm storing it. And
that's
if I
the
want
thing.
cold coffee, I'll brew it, stick it in the refrigerator with some ice cubes, come back in a couple hours, and I got my ice cold coffee.
Yeah. And that's one of the things is, if they're on the coffee part is, are they spending the money at Starbucks rather than brewing it themselves? Something else, I don't get mad at me, those of you out who do this, how many people are, and I'll tell you why I'm asking this question is, how much are you guys spending on alcohol?
0.
Yeah, I don't drink. I mean, it's like, really
I
nasty
get
tasting.
some if I see it on sale, just because it can be used. If you get the 90% or higher, you can use it as an antiseptic.
Right.
And if, there is something that's a painful type of operation you have to do, like sewing somebody's skin close, give them a couple of shots of 90 proof and makes it a little
On the
easier.
wound, and it'll numb the wound up, and it'll numb them up, and good to go.
But it's those that go out that socially drink to the point of
here's
how
the
do I
crux
say
of the
this?
situation. The crux of the situation.
Needing a taxi to go home every Friday and Saturday night out clubbing. How much money do people waste on clubbing and partying when they could be spending it on?
But here's the crux of the situation. They don't want to change their behaviors. The average person doesn't want to change their current line of behavioral mechanisms in order to start changing the things that they need to change in order to be prepared. So for most people, in order for them to be prepared, they got to change their mindset first. Okay, I got to quit doing this. I got to quit doing that so I can afford to do this, this, and this. If they don't change their mindset, then everything we tell them is going to go in this ear and right out that one.
Yeah.
It's not going to do a bit of good. They've got to change their mindset.
And I know, Dave, you smoke because it helps with your blood pressure better than the medication does.
And it also helps alleviates the edge of pain. Nicotine has a natural painkiller to it. It's not the best. It's not the healthiest by any means. But it also helps keep my blood pressure in check. If I quit taking it, I have to start taking pills. I don't want pills. Period. I can't afford them.
There are certain choices people make and about what they're spending their money on. And
awesome, Lori. Awesome. Lori
no drinking, no smoking, no caffeine. All I do is bake and sell my goods at 2 stores. Cool.
And a hockey rink.
Woo-hoo.
Hey, she's Canadian. You can't forget the hockey rink now, doggone it.
But so there are some things that people that are trying to prep need to look at themselves. If they're spending $100 a month on a vice they really don't need, and the other vice, which is nobody answered this or say anything about this, is gambling.
Netflix. Get rid of your Netflix. Get rid of your Disney Plus, which you shouldn't be watching anyway because never mind. I won't go there. But get rid of all those prepaid monthly subscription fees for all this stupid entertainment, which is full of lies and everything else, and designed to dumb down the general public. Get rid of all that and put that towards preps.
Yeah. And there is one of those subscription things that my wife's been considering, the National Geographic one with some of the other shows and stuff, educational shows.
I'll put. There's only one that I would subscribe to. Would I be able to afford it? And that's PureFlix, and that's complete Christian based.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only one that I would, because it's Christian based, and there's actually a good series on it that I would watch again if I had the opportunity, but. Yeah. That's the only one I would do.
Excuse me. Yeah. So there are, the choices that new preppers are going to make are going to tell them that your choices are going to affect what your budget is for what you spend on your preps. Do you want this? Do you want to enjoy this stuff now, or do you want to eat in 6 months? Sometimes you got to hit them with a 2x4. You want to play around and do all this stuff now. Or do you want to eat in 6 months? Do you want your kids to eat in 6 months?
And see, that's my biggest thing is I got to make sure Charles and I eat.
Hey, Joe.
And right now we can both go, a week without eating. It ain't going to hurt our body a bit. And then we'll eat a good day's worth of food. Then we can go a couple more days. I can stretch what we've got out probably 2 years if I had to, going on that premise. But right now we got a year's worth.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about.
Let's switch this view over here up for a second, folks. And all right, so today's message. Tomorrow night on Tactical Tuesday on my Gray Man Prepping channel. You notice what I did here? I got CFC, Camppatton Family Compound, and Gray Man Prepping. On Gray Man Prepping, we're going to be talking about water storage, where you're at on your water storage, and things you can do to extend it, and things that are not worth the money to try to extend it. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, and we're going to have varying opinions. But varying opinions means, hey, you get people's different views, so we're not just trying to sell you one thing, and then you guys can do your own research. Look into what we're telling you, figure out what works best for you.
Yep. Do your due diligence. Don't take what one person says as gospel. The only gospel is the gospel. Yep. Everybody else's subjective opinion. My opinion's different than Bruce's, which is different than Gil's.
Which is different.
It all depends on experience level, life experience, all of that. Because something that works for me may not work for them, just like Dave was saying. You have to go through this and kind of learn on your own, because what works for one person may not work for everyone else. It just depends.
And put it simply, when it comes to medical preps, I have nowhere near the knowledge, experience, or anything that Bruce does. None. If you put mine in a thimble and his in a thimble, he's going to need 200 million more thimbles to fill it up. Where I'm still looking at mine going, is there anything in mine when it comes to knowledge? Okay, so when it comes to learning stuff about that, I'm going to listen to what he says, but I may still go check out a few other people like Doc Bones and a couple of doctors I know locally. Not that I'm saying what he's saying is wrong, but I'm going to do my due diligence to back up what he's saying with other people's information. And that you got to do that with all stages of prepping. You can't just take, mine or Gil's or Bruce's or Canadian preppers or city prepping. You can't just take one person's information because they may be slightly biased and leaning a certain way. You go check out other people and you figure out, hey, I can trust this person because they're telling the truth. I might not agree 100% with what they say, but at least I can understand that what they're saying is true.
Yeah. All righty. So I know I promised Courtney I wouldn't run into her Media Monday, which is her. Basically, she does shout out of channels and it highlights different channels and stuff. And that's starting in about 12 minutes over on Wide Family Farm. So with that, so Tuesday is what's your water level? Friday back here on Camppatton Family Compound, they're talking about hunting for food for your family. And we're going to talk about alternative ways rather than the traditional modern man way. And so we're going to do that. Hey, Anthony, how's it going? I'm going to put that up. Anthony has a good channel. If you want to learn about baking bread and stuff, making homemade mayonnaise, doing natural yeasts and stuff, check out Anthony at Pimento Prepared. Yeah, so when you see somebody do it, try it. See if it works, because they may have forgot to mention a step or two.
Yep, due diligence. Like I said, it's like studying in school.
Yeah, and then
you
Bruce
do
on
due diligence to make sure you pass the test. This is a test.
Yeah, so tomorrow night, Dave, any particular topic for tomorrow night?
Yeah, I already said that at the beginning.
I mean, all the ones that came in late here. We had a bunch come in since you said it.
Well, for those who are interested, on my channel tomorrow night, Southern Ohio Prepping at 9 Eastern, for those who need to know, I'm going to discuss basic intro into being prepared for all emergencies. Not prepping, just being prepared. Part of the Ape Nation, Advanced Preparedness Engineers. So if you want to be an ape, show up at 9.
All right. And Bruce, on Friday, open chat, any particular topic to lead off with?
I'm sure something will come up during the week here.
It always does.
I just, whatever somebody wants to talk about, I'm good with. If you want to come in and you got questions about something or you tried something and it's screwed up, well, there's several people that come in there that may be able to help you. Maybe I can't, but somebody else may know.
Awesome, Kalen. Be safe out there.
Oh, cool. You're heading to camp again. Okay.
I've made one, but I didn't keep the video of it. It was on my old channel. I'd probably have to remake another one.
All right. Hang on a second here. Bruce, are you doing that?
Yeah, I'm getting it right now. I'll post it.
So Bruce will throw up his channel here in a second. And for those that haven't seen my Gray Man Prepping channel, hang on, we'll get it over here. Let me grab the link for that one here. Go back to the main.
And mine's easy. Just search YouTube for Southern Ohio Prepping. It's the only one that'll pop up with a big ugly picture of the state of Ohio.
Yeah. So my Gray Man is spelled with
It'll look like that right there.
Huh?
I said my channel's logo looks kind of like that picture right there.
Yes, it does. So mine is spelled with an A, and mine, been around a bit longer. And there it is. So, and there's Bruce's. So, yeah, check out these other two guys. If you're not subscribed to them, you could do a lot worse than subscribing to these guys. All righty, and I guess that's it. We're going to wrap it up, and everyone, we'll see you on the next time we're live or on our next posted video. So take care, stay safe, keep on prepping.